I've called it a divine showdown on the back of your notes. I'm continuing with this Wild West theme. Yes, I'm going all in on the Wild West theme. So, a divine showdown. God wants to confront us and get our attention. And sometimes that is like a wrestling match. We're going to see that's what's going to happen with Jacob eventually. Last week, I didn't talk about the title of the message too much, but we looked at the idea in Hebrews chapter 2 that Jesus entered into the world. The Son of God became a human being. He became like us so that he could relate to us, so that he could get our attention, and so that he could bring us, he could lead us out, bring us back to God. And so I called that message, Time to Meet Your Maker, literally. And God is calling out to us in our lives. He's here and he is calling you out. Today we're going to look at Hebrews chapter 4 and chapter 5. And we're going to see in this section, Jesus is calling us out. Maybe like someone knocking on the door of your house, you don't know what it's going to be, and it's going to take maybe some wrestling. You're going to have to get up and go to the door and let him in. But Jesus is calling us out. He's trying to get our attention and trying to get us to come and be real with him. That's what the struggles and the pain are. And today we're going to see that Jesus himself had this same experience in his life. He had to wrestle with God, his Father. Even the Son of God did. And we're going to see what that looks like in these verses in Hebrews. There's a lot of big ideas in these verses. So we'll read a little bit and then we'll talk about it in kind of three different sections. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 14 to 16. Therefore, since we have a great high priest. We talked about that last week. We'll talk about it more as we move on in the message today. That's Jesus. A great high priest who has ascended into heaven. Jesus, the Son of God. Let us hold firmly to what we profess. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses. So we talked about that last week. He's not just some high, faraway God. He's not just the Son of God who's totally unlike me. He became just like us. That's why he entered the world. And so when we think of Jesus, yes, we need to think of God, but we also need to think of a human being just like you and me. Really? Yes. We have one who has been tempted in every way. So all the difficulties, all the struggles, all the things that you are tempted to turn away from God, the struggle to be lazy and hide from whoever's knocking at your door, all those things that we go through in this life, he went through them all. Yet he did not sin. Well, now you're thinking, well, he's totally unlike me. Yes. But he's experienced all the things that we have experienced. So therefore, and this is going to be key. This is key for today, this verse right here. Therefore, let us approach God's throne of grace with confidence so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. There's a lot of words there. It might just wash over us. Stop for a moment and think what's being said. We are being asked to approach the throne of God, the place where God himself is, where he rules. That's what we're doing when we come to him in prayer. That's what we're doing, or we should be doing, inside when we come to him in a time of worship together in the church. We are reaching out directly to the one who is ruling the universe right now. We approach his throne of grace. There is no reason that I should be able to approach the throne of the God of the universe. But because of Jesus, there is grace, and I can. And he wants me to. He wants me to come to him. And it's so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. Notice it's the time of need that's going to cause us to do this, if anything causes us to do it. So as we think through all of the struggles in our lives, all the things that we face, the difficulties, these are coming into our lives for a reason. What is the reason? The reason is to get our attention, The reason is that God is calling you and me out. He is calling us to go to Him for help, and in a particular way, boldly, with confidence. Another translation, boldly. Go to His throne. Ask Him again and again. Ask Him in some pretty intense ways we're going to see in just a minute. Boldly and with confidence. Approach the throne of God's grace with confidence.